So right after learning about the different guidelines, or let's say the crucial guidelines on how you can write the RLS, let me introduce to you several techniques on how you can effectively write, or let's say how you can ease your writing in, let's say, writing your RRLS. So we have here different examples of the techniques you can use to ease the writing of your RRLS. So we have here, so notice the highlighted words. We have, there are no release materials authenticating the linea philippinensis that will hold nutrients. So to confirm the presumption, then we have here researchers assess and eventually to be fully recognized, and we also have lack of enough studies. Okay, so we encountered this earlier, correct? So here we showed that our RRLS is considered to be two-sided, and there are positive and negative sides. Okay, once you indicate the positive and negative sides of information in your RLS, you are applying a technique known as comparing and contrasting. Okay? When you compare and contrast, you point out both the similarities and differences of the information from the RRLS to your present study. Okay? So that will be the first technique you can use in writing RLS. To avoid biases, you must compare and contrast. Look for the positive and the negative sides of information. Okay? Next, we have this example. Okay, take note of the clue word such as. Okay, we have such as entry through the skin via cut, through sexual activity, through a compromised immune function. Okay, ability to cause the following. So we have sepsis, pneumonia, and meningitis. So, what can you observe from this example? Did the researcher enumerate several examples of the topic being discussed? Okay, obviously, yes. So, a technique in writing RLS, when we try to enumerate examples, is known as illustration. Okay, so illustration technique is a technique in writing RLS where the researcher tend to enumerate examples to emphasize the, let's say, idea being garnered in a single entry. Okay, so we have illustration. Next, we have here, okay, bacterial reactivity, also known as bacterial response, shows how bacteria mount defense against the important classes of antimicrobial compounds. Okay, so this part of our paragraph, let's say, illuminates the thesis statement of this entry. Okay, this is the main idea, or let's say, this is the main definition of the entry being, let's say, being validated, or let's say being tested for reliability. And if we try to, let's say, highlight the variables, or let's say if we try to describe the variables by providing its general information, or providing the main idea about the certain variable, we are actually summarizing what it is all about. Therefore, another technique in writing RLS is to summarize the general information of that entry. Okay, most of the time it happens when you are trying to create an entry for measurable variables. Okay, so you can summarize the, let's say, information surrounding that certain entry by providing general information or the main idea about it. Okay, so those are the different, let's say, techniques you can use in writing your RRLS. So in our next video presentation, we will now be discussing how you can write the synthesis of your RRLS.